Hey everybody, it's Ricky from All Sorts of Words. It's just me. Um, I invited friends. We'll see if they show up. Just gonna go over. This, let me tell you something. This has been the best format for like revealing hauls. Um, I hate editing haul videos. I find them obnoxious to make, not to watch. I also enjoy watching them. Hello, Matt likes comics. How are you? Um, so I find this to be the most pleasurable format for myself, sharing what I've been buying lately. So here it is, jumping right in. This is Vampyverse. Here we go. Vampyverse number 5. You know what? Give me a second. I'm going to pull up my eBay because my eBay tells me information I don't bother to memorize. Yes, this is Vampyverse number 5, Megan Hetrick Virgin variant. Okay, so I've said it before a million times on this channel. Vampirella is obnoxious to find. They make like 200 print runs, 100 print runs, 500 print runs, and this was a very low print run. And so this particular version variant, this sweet kind of, I think cyberpunk. My wife thinks like street thug in the future kind of deal. This one right here, like try to find it. Go on eBay right now. I promise you. I paid $75 shipped for this. Not yet there. So here's the deal. Listen, you buy them when you see them because they're obnoxious to find. Bleecker Street, how are you, sir? Bought my first Warren Vampirella this past week. Congratulations. Welcome to the addiction. So this is an obnoxious one to find. I literally have been flirting with it for months. The guy was like 75 shipped, and I kept offering him low ball amounts. It was it was really frustrating. Hello, everyone's coming in and saying hi. Lettuce Comics is here. My goodness, everybody's being nice. Okay, this is a fun one. So I was at my local comic book store, Midwest Comics in Maine. Mid-Coast Comics, I apologize. And you never find this early series in high grade. You never find them for cheap. They're always expensive. Afterlife with Archie. This is issues 1 through 5. And I found them for $3 a piece. Usually, if you want even like the first issue, people are going to try to charge you like $15 on eBay. It's frustrating to try to get these. This series took off more after it was over in the years following, as opposed to like at first. Nobody knew what they had at first. But Afterlife with Archie. This is, in brief, Sabrina the Teenage Witch exists in the Archie universe, and Archie's poor doggy has an accident, and he wants Sabrina to bring it back to life. Well, Sabrina is a teenage witch. She's not that great at being a witch, and so she brings everyone back to life. We have a friend here. We're adding. Hey, give me a second. Hey, buddy.
What's up?
No, I was just telling everybody how Sabrina the Teenage Witch isn't very good at being a witch, and so when she tried to bring Archie's dog back to life, she brought everybody back to life, and so zombie shenanigans ensue.
They do ensue.
Okay, this is a new one. This is a new obsession. I'm one of those people that, like, if there's a first appearance for $200, or there's a, like, you could buy the entire canon of a comic book character for $200, I find that really tempting, and that's kind of what I did tonight. Danger Girl by J. Scott Campbell. This is actually a really affordable entire run to get in terms of everything, including the variant covers for her preview issue. So this is like, you can find this book in dollar bins. This is the what is it called? The American Entertainment exclusive edition. It's like a 10-page comic that tells a very terrible story with fantastic art. But I got into Danger Girl. Bruce, do you have any experience with Danger Girl?
I don't.
Break my heart.
I know, I'm sorry. That's why I join your streams, Ricky, so you can get me familiar with all these titles.
Okay, so if you want to collect Danger Girl, The preview issue, look it up in Key Collector. It's the main issue they use. You can find it in dollar bins. It's her first appearance. It's great. However, there are variants to that preview issue, and then that's where the collectors come alive. So there's that key issue number 1. You can usually get it in dollar bins, but if you're going to buy it on eBay, it's going to be like $8-9. This version cost me around 20. It's a little harder to find, especially harder to find in high grade because of the white cover. But if you really want to start being a goblin and collecting the weird stuff, this is a poly-bagged version of the cover A that I was just saying you could see on Key Collector.
That's cool.
So it comes with like one comic on one side, DV8. And they're like, oh, don't you want DV8? However, the cover A for Danger Girl is on the back side. So this is the same issue as the last 2 I just showed. However, what makes this one cool, when you buy the poly bag, the one that you really care about, the Danger Girl first appearance, is on the back, so you don't get all this like cheesy writing about like, yeah, what a great value.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Bruce, do you have anything cool? Show me something cool that you've gotten recently.
I am so unprepared. I didn't know we were showing books, but I brought this downstairs. It's pretty much the only thing that I got recently. My 80 X-Men number 101. That was the most recent book that I got, but I'm really trying to save for our trip to the con. So I haven't been spending as much, or been slowing down, I should say.
Sure.
I've been trying to catch up on my reading. Right now I'm reading Something is Killing the Children. I started that.
Nice.
I think you'd like that, Ricky. I'm not sure if you're into that kind of stuff or not, but I think
I am. So I have the first 3 issues in first print. Haven't read them. They just are sitting in my closet. I've got the what's that? The all red Virgin variant.
Yes.
I got that one.
Okay.
And then I've got like the cover B for number 2, and then I think the cover A for number 3.
Yeah.
So I'm like slowly getting them.
Yeah, that's something new that I've been learning about. I just buy the trade paperbacks, but I do eventually want to get the comics. Like, I got the volume 1, so I think that has it probably has the first few issues for sure. And if I like the stories a lot, then at Terrificon when we go, I'd like to pick myself up some of the comics to kind of put in my collection.
Yeah. Are you looking for like a slabbed 9/8, or you're looking for like a reader copy?
Yeah, just probably gonna get some raw books. I'm not really a slab kind of guy. I know that I have some back here, but I think I've winded down my collection on slabs. I think I only own like 5 now.
Wow. Okay.
I've been selling some of my slabs. So,
are you trying to make convention money?
Yeah, trying to do that, but also just figure out what I want in my collection. I'm more of a raw book collector. I realize that. So to get slabs, it's really going to have to be a book that I like in a slab. I'm not just going to buy a whole bunch of slabs just because I can.
See that? So you just stumbled on something. So I've been saying this for a while. Mm-hmm. And I want more people to feel comfortable with it. Like, your collection, you're allowed to change it. Yes. Over time. You're allowed to change focus and mix things up and get rid of books that you once loved. And it doesn't mean that you didn't ever love them. It just means that at one point in time they meant a lot to you, but now your affection for them has waned, and you can kind of shift that focus into something else.
Yeah, and that's pretty much what I've been doing. I kind of found what I like to collect, so I've been focusing on that. But that doesn't mean that this time next year I'm not collecting just indie books. You never know. You never know how your taste can change. And I like to learn new things, and I like to you show a lot of indie books, and that's something that can become very fascinating to me. I might just want to collect the weird and obscure books instead of the main Marvel titles that I collect right now.
Those are so fun. The weird indie books like this one. I'd never heard of this. So I was at Midcoast Comics, and I sent you a photo, Bruce, of this. Like, he got this big collection in, and it was one of those things where like a store was selling to another store, and store A was saying, if you give us like $75 a long box, just take them. Like, they're indie books, just take them. And so I was in hog heaven, and he was like $1 a book. And so this
Yeah.
one, this is actually really hard to find and pretty expensive, but like we looked it up together. This is Epoxy issue 1 and issue 2. It's 5-issue series.
Yeah.
I would hate to ruin it, but I think he's Vietnamese if I remember correctly, but he's the like first generation American Vietnamese immigrant. His family's really close, and it's just like there half of this is like one story of just like him and his neighborhood growing up with his friends, and then half of it is like literally a one-armed boxer who like crushes it. He's really good at it, and then like he just gets ruined. And then I haven't read any further. It was just those first 2 issues, but it was fascinating.
Yeah.
And I was looking it up, and it's like if you want the first issue, the first issue was like, how do I put this? It seems like it was more heavily printed because on eBay you can get it, but it's around like $30. The second issue is a little bit cheaper. I think it's like $18.99. Issue 3 was a giant sized special issue, and like you're in for no less than $50.
Okay.
4 doesn't exist. And then for 5, you're paying like $300. Last in series on a limited series like that. Like we know how last in series is for like Marvel books.
Mm-hmm.
So like last in series for an indie book, like you can get it, but it's literally like $300. But it was such a good read that like I'll definitely keep my eyes open for it.
Okay. Yeah, but maybe you'll stumble across that, you know, in the wild somewhere for a ridiculous price, you know, like $5.
I mean, I found the first 2 issues for $1 each.
Yeah, right. And you seem to have really good luck with that recently.
It's not good luck. I'm telling you what it is. I've gone digging with like at least 20 different people since I've joined the comic book community.
Okay.
And everybody does the same thing. We go to a store, they dig through one bin, and I'm at A, and I'm digging, and I'm going through everything. And eventually, invariably, inevitably, I am on like the 6th bin, and I'm still going, and they're like looking at their watch, and I'm like, how are you bored? This is the point. This is why we came here.
Yeah.
And then the longer I stay and force them to stay, the more shit they find.
Yeah.
Like, just dig. I watch big YouTubers with like 20,000 subscriber channels, and they go through a box like 1, 2, 3 chunk, 1, 2, 3 chunk, and I'm like, you're missing all the gold.
That's kind of how I am. I went to my first local comic book store in Bangor. It's called Galactus Comics and Collectibles. Or Galactic.
Risky copyright if it's Galactus.
Yeah. It's Galactic Comics and Collectibles. Anyways, I went there and I didn't have a lot of time, so I'm just kind of looking through boxes, and I'm doing, like you said, I'm just doing chunks of it. And that's not really, like you said, it's not really the best way to dig. You're gonna find your really good finds just sifting through one at a time and hit in. And I need to go hunting with you, Ricky. I know you're gonna push me to do that, and I'm like, oh man, I would have never known this if I didn't look through this 6 box, you know, or I'm just gonna stumble across some crazy stuff. I'm sure of it.
No, for sure. And like anybody, if you know, I have enough subscribers now where like randomly someone at a convention who watches this nonsense could be like, oh, that's Ricky. Literally come and hunt comic books with me. Like you're just gonna see me hunched over a bin. Just come sit next to me and hunt comic books. I love doing it. But like it's really difficult to get people to like, I don't know, fucking focus. It's just like keep looking. Yeah.
Those comic book collectors have ADD, I guess.
Oh, she admits to going chunk by chunk, you monster. You animal.
Yeah.
It's sick. Okay, so same dollar picking. Yes. Yes, there are. I know that there is a Dark Tower series that I don't believe he wrote, but I mean, he wrote the Dark Tower, right? I don't believe he wrote it so much as like they got the license to make the Dark Tower series, but his name is huge on top of the Dark Tower title. So it's like Stephen King, the Dark Tower, and then like the interior's written by like some poor bastard. Although I'm sure he was thrilled. Okay, so in that same dollar bin, I found, and this is how I became intimately knowledgeable of Danger Girl in a short period of time, they made these cheap ass, thin ass Toys R Us style trades. and they only contain like 2 issues each. But they're like, what does it say in the back? It says like the sold out oversized sensation of Danger Girl #1. Homie, they were handing these out everywhere, these preview Danger Girl #1s.
I'm sure.
Everywhere. But anyway, there was this one, and then there was this one. She's another member of the team. She's Australian. But like that J. Scott Campbell art, my guy. Look at that.
It is really nice.
And this is like, these are his characters, so I feel like I know here. Someone just asked the names of the characters, and I know the first one is Abby Chase. Boom. Abby Chase.
That's nice.
Yeah, oh, she's gorgeous. The story's pretty terrible. The writing's pretty awful, but it has seen, I have to find it. An alligator bites her pants, and we get this like shameless cheek shot.
That's cool.
Like, it's full of that type of art.
Yeah.
And then the other members of the team joined. She's an Australian whip user. And then there's this lady. She is I believe, Russian knife thrower.
Yeah.
But yeah, fantastic. Okay, this is where we get into like a huge pile of nonsense. This is more, what the hell is Ricky reading? Okay. There was a band. There was a band in the mid-90s called 22 Brides.
Okay.
Don't add. It's just a band. It's a band with two lady lead singers, best friends in real life, and they had a band called 22 Brides. Well, Joe Castada and Jimmy Palmiotti, you know, the artist and Amanda Connor's husband and all that jazz.
Yep.
The two of them created a bunch of characters for the band. And they made it like a cross promotion of like, hey, they can sell comics at their concerts, and we'll have 2 characters who are in the band. And then that's this. So this is an over dramatization of the redhead in the band, and this is the girl with the raven hair in the band. There's unfortunately also a man and like 2 men. There's a drummer and like another bandmate, and the men don't get characters. It's a team of hot ladies. The story is incomprehensible. It really is. It's like this team of women fight the mob for reasons who knows why.
You just like the cover.
Yeah, sure. So this is they live in Stump Tower in New York, and one of the main girls is like the daughter of, you know, like Donald Stump, and she like fleeces him for his money so she can fund her team that fights the mob. I couldn't make that up if I wanted to, but it's also related to a band. Please don't forget that fact. It's related to a real band, and they talk about them in the inside cover. They dedicate like each issue to this stupid band. It says it right here, 22 Brides.
Well, that's interesting because comics were really popular in the 90s, right? So like that was a good time to do that. You know,
here's the band.
It would promote their bands, and
there's the girl with the red hair, and there's the girl with the black hair. Clearly identical. Clearly identical to the representation. However, they aren't the takeaway. I just told you all of that. It's kind of like one of those, I told you that story to tell you this story. I told you that story because there's a character that is introduced literally on the first page. You only see her hand at first, that bandaged hand. And you do get some pictures of her in the shadows. Now, that character, maybe you've heard of, maybe you haven't. 90s kids definitely have. Painkiller Jane. Painkiller Jane is a Wolverine detective. She's a detective in New York, but she has the healing factor of Wolverine. However, she acutely feels the pain way more than anybody else would feel the pain, like, because like her arm's getting blown off. So it's not like comic book Wolverine, like he's just raw and he can heal. Her arm gets blown off and she feels it, and it takes a while to heal. So this girl is constantly chugging painkillers to fight that, but because of her healing ability, she's not dying, but she's just chugging painkillers. So she'll be interrogating a guy and take his aspirin and just blah, 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 like while she's always eating painkillers, and so
That's
she's
definitely
Painkiller Jane. But this 22 Brides #1, it's a 4-issue series. This is the cover B. This is the one that'll run you about like anywhere between 30 to 50. You can still find it in dollar bins if you know what you're looking for, but this is the cover B. This is a lot harder to find than cover A, which looks like this.
Okay.
It's a lot less dynamic. There's not so much art going on. But this is the cover A, and you can find it. First appearance of Painkiller Jane.
Did you find those together?
So I found them at dollar digging at some different stores, did some dollar digging, pulled them all out. And then at the very end, I use mycomicshop.com to clean up runs. Mycomicshop.com they've made my collecting so much easier. Like when I was collecting New 52, I'd find a store with like 70% of it. And they're selling it for $1 a book. And then I would go on My Comic Shop and clean up the rest of the run. Do you use My Comic Shop often?
I have not used it at all. I really need to, but
so they're a giant comic warehouse, and they deal in volume. So they'll sell you older issues for like $2.50 a piece. The issues that nobody wants, the dollar issues, they'll sell you for $2.50. But they've got them all, and their organization's impeccable. So you can find a run of 50 and get 30 issues and clean up with them really easily.
Yeah, I'm not currently working on any runs. It's not my forte, but if I do decide to do that, later on down the road, then that's definitely going to be in the back of my mind.
Now, what about at the con? So if and nobody knows, like we're doing Terrificon in August, and we're going with a large group. So like, what exactly are you hunting?
I'm going to be looking for X-Men 94, couple ASM books. I'd like to get Something Is Killing the Children there. Daredevil number 169, I think is the number. It's a First Electra. I've been looking for that book. Just some Bronze Age books. I've been really collecting Bronze Age recently. So that's what I'm looking for. But,
anything huge?
Probably just X-Men 94 would be the biggest one. I don't know how much money I'll be able to save between now and then. I've been trying to do as much overtime as I can, but I'm also spending some money. So
how much did they charge you for the Thursday night hotel?
I think I paid $300.
$300. Wow.
Yeah. So I got in before they raised the prices up even more, which I'm very fortunate for, but it was a last minute decision. So whose fault is it? It's my fault, obviously, because I waited so long. I knew about the trip months ago, and I didn't think I was going. So I'm just lucky to even have a room, honestly.
I mean, you're not lying. You're not wrong.
Yeah. As long as I get to go, everything's paid for. I paid for my room. I paid for my tickets. I paid me and Dan and Rohan, and I think Travis are all going to stay in the same room Friday and Saturday. So
is it two bedroom? You're all just head to toe in it.
Yeah.
One bed.
I'm probably going to bring not a sleeping bag, an air mattress. Maybe thought about that.
Smart.
Down the floor,
Smart.
So I don't know how much room we're going to have in your car, Rick, but we'll see.
Oh, I have a hatchback.
Okay, so
we're good.
Okay,
yeah, we're good. My wife and I went down to Dollywood and Pigeon Forge, and we drove the whole way, and we filled the car with like each of us had the equivalent of like 2 suitcases because we were there for like a week and a half.
Okay.
Homie, if anybody in this chat at any point in time wants to join in and just talk, we're just talking about nonsense. If you just want to join in, let me know here, and then hit me up on Instagram. My Instagram's up, my chat's up, and I'll just send you the link.
Yeah, we're just hanging out.
Yeah, it's just chilling. So I don't know. That's the thing. I kind of want to do like huge bin diving at this con.
Yep.
I want to do huge bin diving.
Are you going to do any filming while you're there?
Tons and tons and tons. I'm going to do a ton. I want to do a raw walk of the floor, just a raw walk of the floor.
Yep.
I want to do a booth tour of the floor.
Yep.
I want to do interviews with the booths that I really like. Like, hey, you want to talk to me for like 5 minutes? I'll edit together a couple of those. I have a bunch of skits I want to do with you guys.
Oh,
It's going to be a
cool.
lot of filming. Here's my goal. I haven't said this publicly yet. I want to go to Hall. If you want to jump on at all, let me know. Anyone in here can jump on. Oh, Matt Atkinson, hold on. I'm seeing you. Give me a second, buddy. The fuck was I saying? I'm drunk. I'm not drunk. But what the fuck was I saying?
You want to do a raw walk?
I want to do a bunch of raw diving at this con.
Yeah.
I want to do a bunch of interviews. Yeah, I want to do a bunch of stuff there. It's going to be fun. And I'm trying to convince more and more people to go. So this is going to be nonsense.
Oh, I hope everybody goes.
Okay,
I'd love
more
to see you there.
Here, we can just keep talking.
Sure.
Yeah, so Hope asks, is there anything specific? I have a bunch of shit. You know what? That's actually a really good question. You know what? I have a list on my phone of shit that I'm looking for. Give me 1 second. I have a Where the hell are you? See, this is dead air. This is the worst thing in the world.
Mine are pretty easy. I'll look at wall books mostly. I might do some dollar bin diving. Who knows? Who knows what I'll have time for? I want to get some interviews too as well. So
yeah. Passwords, film. I'm literally reading through the notes on my phone to find it. T-shirt, games I want, horror movies, comic needs. Here we go. Okay.
there you go.
Infinite Frontier number 3. I hate myself. Death Dealer number 4 and on. I love the Death Dealer series by Frank Frazetta. Oh, hold on. Hey, friend.
Hi.
How's it going?
Pretty good. How are you?
Good.
I need spawn. Oh, sick. I need spawn. I'm answering what I was looking at, like when I'm doing some dollar bin diving. Oh, we got another one. Here we go.
Very cool.
Okay. Spawn.
Ricky, should I recognize this one?
Yay! I'm so glad you won that.
Oh, well, you should check out my channel next Tuesday. I put it on the video.
Yeah.
I'm giving you a shout out. So
I'll be there. Hold on. Now we're getting more and more people.
No, that's cool.
Awesome.
You're talking about dollar bin diving. Alan and I went to a show last Sunday, and a good chunk of this came from dollar bins.
I love dollar bin diving.
Yeah. Dollar bin diving is fun because it's amazing what you can find.
Yeah.
I agree with you, Ricky. Like, whether it's independent or even DC, like just the filler issues alone. Guys like me who are big run collectors, they come in very handy. Hi, Bruce. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, you too. Nice to meet you, Matt.
Ricky, I don't think he's ever actually seen my face, but we've had conversations. So
we've definitely talked.
That's awesome.
Oh, Vampire and Gun Honey.
Gun Honey's another one I'd like to look at because all I've seen so far are pictures. People have sent me pictures of Gun Honey, some of the covers and stuff, and I've passed them on to a few other people, but I haven't. Alan buys that. I haven't bought one yet. I should probably think about it.
I've got the first. I'm one of those guys. That's the thing. When you become an indie guy, when you become an indie collector, like all of a sudden you'll start being okay with the $3 issue one. Like if some guy on Whatnot or somewhere is hustling and they're being like, hey, I just wrote a comic book. I feel like it's cool that you get to support somebody small. So like you're there with like the it wasn't really small, but like what is it, the Ninja Funks and stuff, but in spirit of like trying out new weird stuff. And that's how I got some of these. This is here, let's do this.
I'm actually gonna go get a book from upstairs to show, so I'll be right back.
Here we go. Painkiller Jane.
Math.
More Painkiller Jane. I'm gonna go through these relatively quickly because like I got Oliver.
I have to have her power.
I mean, if it was, the problem is like Wolverine's powers are great in the comic book universe, but practically they would suck.
Yes.
Painkiller Jane. These are all the series in order.
With all the variants, I'm guessing, eh?
Not all the variants, but like, here's the thing. So aside from Vampirella, you can't be a Vampy fan without being a variant fan. It's impossible. But besides Vampirella, I'm not crazy about the variants, and I'll treat the variant I like the most as the cover A for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've got a few. 2 series ago, the one just before Vampirella Strikes. That one I was buying mostly photo covers of the cosplays because those were some of the better ones.
But yeah, Painkiller Jane. Look at that Amanda Connor cover. God damn.
Wow. Love the detail on the skulls.
Oh, they're great covers. And then she has a bunch of crossovers. Vampirella and Painkiller Jane.
I think Vampirella's crossed over with just about everybody but Scooby-Doo.
Now that you said it.
Yeah, right. It's gonna come out next week.
Painkiller Jane in Darkness. So that's another one. Okay, that's another one. I just got issues 1 through 15. It goes up to like issues 50 something, but I got all of the Darkness, the first issues coming in because those are getting a little harder to find.
Yeah, I can believe it. It's amazing.
But like I do have a bunch of variant covers for Painkiller Jane in the Darkness. God,
I do agree with you too about my comic shop. I have filled so many, like I've finished so many series with those guys. It's amazing. For like some people are investor collectors, some people are key collectors. I like runs, and it's just
Yep.
Look at that.
I
no, same.
Want to collect?
Yeah,
I want to read all of it.
exactly. I hate say having 28 out of 29 and like not having that 29th one in case that's the key, like that's the pendulum of the story or whatever.
Hey, Hayden.
Hello.
Yeah, this is my first
These are actually doubles.
firstborn magazine.
Oh, hey, let me see that. Oh, I have that one. That's a good one.
Yeah, I bought it off Alan. He actually had duplicates to part with, so there he's the ultimate Vampirella fan too. His collection is pretty large on it. I think he's
does he love her like I do? Does he really?
Probably.
He's on to the next. That's Alan's thing. He's on to the next, on to the next. He's like, this is the single rarest book I have ever gotten in my entire life. This is also the single rarest book so on and so. I
think it's great personally. I mean, he's got the drive and the resources to do it. So I mean, more power to him.
And some of the stuff he gets is really weird. Hagen, what have you? Hagen. I've been talking to Lettuce Comics too much lately. What have you been collecting lately?
A lot of modern Batman. I got in the $2 bin. My lighting's pretty bad on my laptop. But
is that Arkham City?
Yes, it's the prequel to the game. It's the first Arkham Knight. $2. Yeah, I've been a lot of modern Batman lately, and a little hodgepodge, just filling in the Invincible run. Got 50 the other.
Nice.
What's
Invincible like? I've heard really good things about it, but I've never read any.
How much? Yeah, you're the big fan.
I mean, it starts off very much as, satire on just superheroes in general, and then it goes on, to a big, ginormous space epic, basically with space politics, space empires.
You know how on Saturday Night Live,
it's literally like a satire on everything.
Like, you know how on Saturday Night Live, like the joke doesn't end, it just keeps going.
Yes.
Invincible is written in a way that it's like the joke keeps going, where it's like, okay, but now it's like 100 years in the future. Okay, yeah, great, I'm here, and then they just keep it just keeps going until an unrealistic conclusion. But I'm not like bad at conclusion. I love the conclusion. It ends. It has an ending, but it does have like a that's how far they took it.
Yeah,
Nice.
Like, did you read what was it? Miracle Man? Like the Alan Moore?
Okay, no, I haven't read the Alan Moore one yet. There's a couple of them. That's why I think isn't there a Jack Kirby one? That one.
No, that's Mr. Miracle.
Oh, No. There's another Miracle Man in Marvel that he did when he went back to Marvel after DC.
Oh God, I hate everything.
It gets confusing. That's the Miracle Man I'm familiar with in terms of that I've read. The Miracle Man from Britain I haven't yet, and I want to. I've got to get some stuff. There's so much I still see. That's the problem, with comics. You read them, you want them more. You just you can't get enough.
Yeah,
That's why I like comics.
Yeah.
So this is an easy dollar bin find for all you dollar hunters out there. This is an easy one. Is that the one? I'm looking for Deathmate. Deathmate, god damn it. Here it is. It's like a little series. There's a couple different covers. They're called Deathmate, and they look as 90s as you can get. That is
without being Rob Liefeld's, right?
There are Rob Liefeld's in the mix in this series, but not necessarily here. But yeah, it's I mean their pockets pockets have pockets. But this book, you'll see it everywhere. It's a dollar book. It looks like it means nothing, right? This is the first appearance of a character you might have heard of, Gen 13 by J. Scott Campbell. So she shows up. She has a different name. It's kind of like I wouldn't say as bad as
shoulders that can take an eye out in these ones.
This is early in his career, so it's not as bad as you know him to be now. It's a lot more, I wouldn't say tame, but it's definitely more rough. You wouldn't look at that necessarily and say that's J. Scott Campbell. Right. But
it's very nice. It's very nice art though.
But that's his baby. And so that's Gen 13. And then in this book, this is another dollar book. Looks chromium as fuck. Chromium and trash, right? The guy that I bought this from literally had like 8 of them. It's called Wildcats Trilogy #1. Even the dollar book that I bought had 2 copies. This is when you get her first name. This is when she's like, oh no, it's not I can't remember what they call her in that other book, but it's like ZX715 because she's like an experiment. That's when they say no, her name is Fairchild, and then the rest of the team that she works with, because Gen 13 is a team. But yeah, there's a couple different like Deathmate nonsense. And there's Gen 13 #0. That's how much I paid. Early J. Scott Campbell. But yeah, he was always good. Campbell was always good. Here's an indie one. I found it in the dollar bins. Rat Queens. This actually got some traction beneath it. They're making, I believe it's an animated movie on Amazon Prime. Relatively cheap book. Relatively cheap book. So the way that he did it was like Hope Davis. Here we go. Loves Rat Queens. Everybody Hope, real talk. Everybody that I've mentioned Rat Queens to, or that speaks to me about Rat Queens, it's always very high up there. Like people always talk about it being great. But folks, when you're digging, this is how you ingratiate yourself with the owners of stores. This is how you forge good relationships with store owners. This guy had piles of dollar bin books, piles of them. And so I'm doing all the digging. And so with those Gen 13 books and with these, I found about 6 copies of these. And I found about, I think, like 8 copies of the first appearance of Gen 13. And so I brought them all to the owner. And I was like, these are the ones that you should be setting aside and charging more. But these are the ones that I want. So can I get them for $1? And I did all the work for you. And he's like, yeah, no, perfect. That's fine. do a little bit of work for them, and all of a sudden you're paying $1.
There you go.
Barbed Wire number 2. I have number 1.
Hmm.
Sweet ad for the mask on the back.
Oh,
That's pretty cool. I like that. I loved that movie growing up, The Mask.
I didn't like the movie very much, but
I love
the comic is pretty good.
Yeah, the comic's cool too. The toys were cool as well.
I have no idea what this is, but I saw Frank Miller and Dave Gibbons, the artist of Watchmen, and Frank Miller, the author of All of Our Hearts.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Martha Washington.
Interesting.
Right. And I don't know. I have no idea what I'm going to expect, but it was $1 and it was Frank Miller. From Continuity Comics, Crazy Man number 1.
Continuity Comics. That's Neil Adams, isn't it?
I have no idea.
Well, I don't mean necessarily the book, but I think he owned the company.
Oh, so he tried to pull like a Todd McFarlane.
Yeah, well, he did it early. Like he did it probably 10 years before Image.
Oh, here's a Liefeld cover. God damn, where did their organs go? Help me find their organs. This is Evangeline and Glory. So I promise you, I'm not a weirdo who follows the latest trends. But when they announced that Evangeline was getting a movie, Rob Liefeld on Instagram announced that it was getting a movie. Literally, Bruce can back me up. Like 5 weeks before that announcement, I always brag about nothing to brag about in a group chat we're in, where I'm like, hey guys, who spent $30 on 70 issues of 90s characters? Me. And I'm like always bragging about nothing. But I got the entire run with all the alternate covers of Evangeline because I'm like, this looks terrible. Guess what? It's terrible. It's so bad. It's so bad. It has some of the worst art I've ever seen. It has an incomprehensible, like, I don't know. It's one of those stories. Like, you know, when you go to like Thanksgiving at your family's and you're talking to the one nephew that everybody says is special, and he's telling you, want to hear about my comic book? He's like, it's about like an angel and she fights like demons and stuff. And you hate it, but like you want to encourage them, except these are 40-year-old men and you want to discourage them, but it's too late. These are the last 2 issues of the run. I didn't have that one store with all the dollar bins had them for $1 each. That's
There
Kismet. So that's the full run, and then we wrap it up here.
What's that store that you go to? What's the store?
Mid-Coast Comics.
Is that the one in Portland?
No, that's not the one in Portland. The one in Portland was really cool. That's where I found Horny Biker Slut number 1.
Okay.
Just by the name, I know I can't have it in my house. Oh.
Funny enough, I actually went and read that one after you showed that in the video, and man, it was something.
Yo,
That was,
I've got a 15-year-old son. I gotta hide that stuff from.
No, but like literally, like Hayden, like page 1.
oh yeah, it's
off.
it's absurd. The whole thing's absurd.
Yeah, Judge Dredd did the Wally story before the Wally story.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, and those are just more quality comics. But that's it. It was all dollar books. I bought a ton of them. So I'm going to that mall show again this Saturday, and a guy that runs a booth there was like, no joke, real talk, I literally have to get rid of comic books in my house. I have to get rid of them. Like, do you just want these Superman comic books? And I was like, how much? And he's like, no, do you just want them? There's a lot of them. And I'm like, yes, please.
That's cool.
So I have no idea what I'm going to get. It's probably a bunch of 90s shit, but I don't give a fuck. Superman.
Actually, you know what? The 90s stuff is very underrated. People have been so used to ignoring Superman for so long that if they were to read some of these books, especially when Jerry Ordway is still involved, they'd be surprised how decent they are. It's just people have been ignoring Superman forever.
Yeah. I will agree with you, except for the death of Superman. I think people have a
so overprinted.
I think they have a place in their heart for it, but if you go and you sit down and read it, if you sit down and read it, it's kind of trash.
Well, part of the problem with the Death of Superman is that it didn't have a single writer. It had 4 writers. Each writer was responsible for their book. And I think, and also the fact that if you notice the 4 main books before, each one, the 4th one has 4 panels a page. Then the next one has 3 panels a page. Then the next one has 2 panels a page. And then the Death issue, each one is a splash page.
Yeah, and that big, yes, that was actually a really cool gimmick for the Death of Superman.
And the thing is, by that, like, you're cutting down on the writing. So basically it's just bang, 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 bang.
Yeah.
But the aftermath was very interesting.
Yeah. Speaking of Frank Miller and good stories that I've read, I just finished this run.
Oh, another good one.
Classic.
Yeah. And I got this book off of the same person that I just bought the run off of, Cheddar Comics on Instagram. I bought this off of him, and then he reached out to me and was like, hey, are you interested in the rest of the run, issues 2 through 4? And I was like, yeah, sure. So I just picked those up recently.
Now, have you read that before?
I just read this not long ago, and I loved it.
Oh, okay. So this ownership is when you first read it?
Yeah, so
That's
I
sick.
haven't read it prior, and somebody suggested it to me, and I really liked it a lot. And this book is signed by Frank Miller.
Very nice.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Very
So,
impressive.
pretty cool. I'm
that's
happy
super
to
cool.
that run. That's actually the only run I've ever completed.
I'm so. I think you cut out there. It sounded like you said that was the only run you've ever completed.
Yeah.
No, it's still coming through like that. There's no way that's true.
Well, 1 through 4 is technically the run, right?
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Four issues.
My
I'm not a run collector. I don't.
yeah. See, here's the difference. My Action Comics run is complete from 324 up.
To now?
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
Wow.
See, that's like I said. I'm an obsessive run collector.
Yeah, I like runs.
Isn't that like 700 books?
Yeah. That's over 700. It's 1065 this month.
That's intense.
Yeah, that is intense. It's cool though.
Hey,
But
someone
to
said
be
hi.
honest, I got a lot of those books from 500 to 800 in the dollar bins. Like I said, Superman is very underrated. And then my comic shop filled out the rest.
Yeah, I have recently started getting into Silver Age Superman. I feel like it's one of the easiest Silver Ages to,
Yes.
Even the 10 centers, I don't usually pay more than $10.
Yes, there are some issues that are rough. Like the Action 340 is the first Parasite. That cost me, I guess, 75 American. So,
Oh, that's still really good.
I found that.
yeah. Well, see, I just had to do a quick conversion because I paid $110. My Canadian. Like that's why it's like.
I just saw that in a shop, and it was a nice copy, and he was asking 300.
Yeah.
I found that if you go to the Salvation, not the Salvation Army, the Goodwill has a website where they upload their higher value items, but they have like a marketplace. It's kind of like a Mercari. I found one on there for $18. Like, you got to look at those weird places too.
Wow,
Yeah. So that's my baby.
that's nice.
Well, yeah, you can get some great deals sometimes. I found a copy of the first Adventure 303, which is the first appearance of Matter Eater Lad. I got it for after shipping $40 Canadian, and it's a $80 book American at my comic shop.
Oh, Legion's a game into itself. Like, nobody knows what the Legion keys are, and they all have.
What's
goofy
hilarious
covers.
is, like, literally they just mention the guy in Peacemaker just mentions the guy, and all of a sudden his book is like insanely high priced for no reason.
Hayden, are you, now that you're on the East Coast, you gonna make the trip to Terrificon?
See, I would, but the day of Terrificon is also so that weekend, that following Monday is my first day of my grad school program.
Oh,
So,
what program are you in?
I'm getting my University of Florida.
And what's the degree though?
Just a general master's in business, and then
like MBA?
business administration, yeah, and then concentration in logistics. But I don't even know why I did that. I worked at logistics the past 2 years, and I did not like it, so I'll probably end up changing that.
It's just a concentration. It's probably like 3
Yeah,
classes that they like cordoned off.
That's like but yeah, I know you're talking about the first Parasite. I actually got this one for $4 on Whatnot of all places.
Hell
Wow.
Oh.
Nets.
It doesn't have the pinup, but I mean $4. Who's
It's a
gonna?
nice pick.
I got lucky. I've got the one with the pinup.
Yeah, me too.
I hear that the hardest one to find with the pinup is the 181 Batman, their first Poison Ivy.
Mhm.
I don't know any. I don't think I know anyone that's got the pinup in it.
I had it and then I traded it.
Oh wow.
I had it and then traded it. I don't really give a fuck about Batman. I like you. You can't like DC without liking Batman. I want to clarify that. I do like Batman. I have the whole New 52 run, and he's a big part of it. I love Batman. However, it's kind of like I can't. I have trouble connecting. I know this is messed up. Maybe someone will agree with me. I have trouble connecting with a character I know I can never own their first appearance of. It's difficult for me.
I would agree with you on that, except for the fact that I've loved Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman my entire life. That's so to the point where like I never even gave a thought to that. But I do agree where you're coming from on that. I mean, like I'm never going to own the first appearance of Spider-Man, and I'm not big into Spider-Man myself, but I know a lot of people are. Same with the X-Men. I'm not a big X-Men fan, but I know a lot of people are. Yeah. But you know, here's the difference too. I find if you're a DC fan, you know, you've got the golden age to think about. Marvel has a golden age, but most people in the Marvel don't think past the silver age. Mm-hmm. So it makes it easier for them to connect and make their runs and all that stuff. I mean, it's expensive as hell. I mean, an Amazing Fantasy 15 itself is crazy, but you know, like theoretically though, it's a lot easier to do. There's more copies too. So
yeah, I mean, I personally don't think I'll ever own an AF-15. And if I do, it'll be forever, and I'll probably trade my entire collection for it.
Yeah,
but I mean, it's one of those things where I make excuses or consolation prizes. So I mean, I'm trying to get like the whole ASM Rogues gallery because that's about right. I feel like the closest thing you can do. I know Ricky, you talked about, you know, you might not be able to own first appearance of Superman, but you have the first appearance of Crypto or the first appearance of his cousin. It's one of those things where you might not have it, but you can get about all the pieces that make that character them.
Yep.
So
252 is my Grail. I'm a huge Supergirl fan.
Yeah.
Like I've got pretty much everything else that she's been in. Just about. I'm missing a few of the action appearances. But that's the one book I want, and that's the one I'm trying to save for.
Touching on what Hayden said, you know, like for us, we collect Spider-Man. We might never own AF-15, but we can own the first appearance of Goblin. We can own, you know, Harry Osborn and Mary Jane's first appearance. So,
Ricky, I am very. Ooh, I bow down to you. Ooh, it's even a 4.0. Wow,
that's nice.
That's beautiful.
You know, I can't even find a reprint of that anymore. Live, I'd have to go on.
Somebody take a screenshot of that.
So 2,400 I paid. Now if I sold it, I would break even because now it's about 3,000. So after fees, after shipping, after insurance, now I could trade it back for the money I got out of it. The book that I've made the most on, if I sold it, I will be buried with this book. I got this for 1,500.
Mm-hmm.
And then now a 3.0 right now, if you want it on eBay, is $3,000. So like I've made the most on it in terms of like bought it for
Supergirl,
so much.
Action Comics 252 went through a bit of a boost with the Flash movie coming out, but then once it was over and it was a bust, it went way down again.
But I picture that a 4.0. I would like to see that after the Supergirl movie comes out, sitting at like 5. That's where I think it's destined to go. The Supergirl movie will come out. It will be reasonably well received.
Yeah,
and
and that's why I would like
Supergirl
to get my
movie.
hands on one now, because I have a feeling it's going to go up again like crazy. I mean, already you're seeing World of Tomorrow #1 hitting $50-$60 when it was literally not even a $10 book 6 months ago.
Yeah, these are expensive. So Bruce, okay, I want to hear each of your answers on this one. Bruce, what is your upper limit right now in terms of what you would be looking to spend for like a single book? Like, what's your like after that? I'm out on anything.
That's a good question, because I've actually thought about that many times, and the most I've spent on a book today, as of today, I only started collecting about a year ago, give or take, a little bit longer, but I didn't really know what I was doing. Anyways, long story short, the most I've ever spent is $500. So I think anything after 1,000's like, but that's where I'm gonna get my big bucks. Like, I know I want giant size X-Men 1, and I know I want Hulk 181, and that takes a lot of money to obtain those books. So that's just what's gonna have to happen. It's just to come to terms with that and pull the trigger.
Nate, what's your ball and chain number?
I mean, I am a smalls collector. I like to put together C and D list runs, and I mean, I think my upper limit's probably $300, $400, maybe $500 if the book was right. But that's it. I don't slab anything. I don't chase keys. I'm in it for the reading and the nostalgia and stuff. But like,
That's awesome.
my Dazzler run, I need an Uncanny 130, and right now that's a $200 book, and I'm probably going to get that this summer, because I really have. That one's been eating at me, that run's almost complete, but I don't have her first appearance and I need it. Other than that though, like, yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm in it for the story. However, like if at one time I had the first 4 TMNT black and white Mirage books, and I sold them back in the 90s, like, during a stupid time to sell. I made out okay for that time, but now it's like I think I got, I don't know, $300 or $400 for all of those books, and now they're $1,000 books. Putting that run back together is going to be really expensive and hard to accomplish, and that's, like you said, pulling the trigger on $1,000 for something that I don't want to slab. I don't want to have to deal with like the house is on fire. Do I grab my son or do I grab the turtles #1? That's
I agree with that.
Once you become a dad, that question becomes a moot point.
Yeah.
It was a joke. I'll take the kid.
I know. I mean, like, believe me, there have been times that I've thought, like where he's been mouthy, thinking, "That's it. I'm going for the comics first."
I can always have another kid.
Probably a lot easier than getting a copy of certain books.
for sure.
Right.
I'll spin the wheel. Hope for a better kid next time. If he's worth saving, he'll have saved himself. Hayden, what's your governor? What's your tippity top? You just bought a big book.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I personally never thought I would spend more than, like this year at least, like $500. But then the opportunity arose, and I was like, all right, the savings account can take a hit, I guess. So I got this first Punisher. This most I ever spent was $775.
Can you grab it? I don't want to ruin your display, but people would love to see it. I'd love to make you big.
Yes, CBCS. So I think like fair market value on a 5.0 CGC right now is about 1,000, maybe. I haven't checked in a while. I stopped checking once I got it. But I got this for like $725 to $775. I don't remember. I literally opened Instagram, and this one account said like 1 day only, whatever. They dropped the price. It was like 3 minutes ago. So I immediately DM'd them. I'm like, do you take payment plan? And they're like, if you don't claim this right now, someone is. So then I just, do what I need to do. But in terms of like the most I would spend, I think a lot of the books on my radar right now really aren't above the $1,000 threshold. Being that I'm going to be a full-time student again, I probably shouldn't be shelling out that money. But because I mean, the books on my radar that I can think they're above 1,000 that I would want would be like the first Doc Ock, which is about like a $1,200 book. Invincible #1 right now, and graded in like 9.4 up is above 1,000. First Green Goblin. Those are the main ones I'm thinking of. They're above 1,000, but everything else really on my radar is kind of underneath. But I mean, if the opportunity ever arises and the deal is too good, I'll make a bad decision. So
Matt, what's your limit?
It really depends on the book. If it's Action Comics 252, I'd look up to 2,500 US. If it's anything else, most of the thing is most of the keys that I want that are after that, for example, DC Comics Presents 47 or an Adventure 300, I've already got. And so, like, I mean, that He-Man book cost me $200. I got it from my comic shop. And
was that the DC Comics Presents?
Yeah, DC Comics Presents 47.
Yeah, that's a hole in my run too.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I was at a show the weekend before where a guy here in Ottawa had it for $500 Canadian. Okay. And just I couldn't come up with the money then. Then I just happened to be checking on the My Comic Book Shop auctions. And there was, at the time, it was $100. I threw in a bid for $250 and I got it for $200. So even with the if you do the conversion, basically I got it for less than $300 Canadian, and it was in better shape than the one I could have picked up. So I got lucky there. But I don't know. It's really hard to say, Ricky. I would like to get a big FF key, as I do like the Fantastic Four. I wouldn't mind getting Ghost Rider 1. That's a grand?
I mean,
Spotlight 5 is
what?
Marvel Spotlight.
Yeah, number 5.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about Ghost Rider 1 because it's the first appearance of Damien Hellstrom, and I'm a big Son of Satan fan.
So the first solo series, #1?
I have the Son of Satan #1. I bought.
No, he meant the
the Ghost Rider 1. The Ghost Rider 1 is the first appearance of Damien Hellstrom. So.
Yeah,
that book's not too bad nowadays. I don't think so.
Yeah.
I remember like a couple years ago, it was probably like $500-ish book, but I think nowadays it's come down. If you the 4 O's, I think it's about a $300 book now. If I'm not mistaken.
I saw it for $700, but it was a 2.5. But again, that's my currency, not yours. So 700 is probably about 475 yours. Okay. So I mean, that's the hard part for me. Alan is very comfortable thinking in American currency, and I'm not. No, it's because I do most of my shopping in Canada because I don't like to deal with customs and the extra taxes and all that other stuff involved with buying some of the United States. As my comic shop is always a gamble because under a certain level, it comes no problem. But once you get to say about $70, $80 American, then it becomes a 50-50 crapshoot if it gets through without customs. So it's
the customs things really sucks. I have a mutual friend with Ricky in our group chat, Ryan, the Colossus Collector. He hosted a claim sale a couple months ago, and he had to send me all of his books that he sold to my home here in Maine. And then I dispersed everything out to everybody else because it was the cheapest way to do it.
Yeah,
I mean, he was going to charge an arm and a leg for shipping. So
The problem is, you know, like we have free trade, but not for what they call fun stuff, like, you know.
Yeah.
Like in the sense that, you know, like, because this is the stuff that the sales taxes really kick in. And I don't, you guys have your sales tax is just a little whatever, but I pay 15% where I am. So
Yeah, that's ridiculous. We pay in Maine, I think it's 5.5%, if I'm not mistaken.
It's so it's not so it's not so bad because I've lived in New Hampshire where we were tax free, and your car registration can be $500.
Yeah, it everywhere. Yeah,
but like Maine, it's like no, it's like Maine, it's like $75. Like it's not bad.
yeah,
So
our car registrations here in Quebec were plates were $300 until about 4 years ago, like a year, $300 a year, and now all of a sudden they've cut the rates, and now it's only $40 a year.
Yeah, it's different. Because so here's the reason I asked the money question, because I'm in the middle of an emotional crisis and I need to bring to the brain trust.
Okay.
So me and a large number of YouTubers, many I'm friends with, many I meet for the first time, are going to be at Terrificon in August, and everybody wants to do the same thing: bring a big pile of cash to Terrificon, and make the coolest video and buy the biggest book, right? I have a budget. I have a budget of a few. I'll share the amount. It's about $3,600. It started a year ago at around $14,000, but then I fell in love with the Addams Family, and that cost me about $1,500. And then I fell in love with this and this, and over the year, it's been chipped away at over and over again. But so right now, it's probably close to around $3,600. If I were to walk into the convention and see an Adventure Comics 247 first appearance of the Legion of Superheroes in the grade that it is currently on eBay right now, for the price it is on eBay right now, I would first shit my pants and then immediately buy the book.
Yeah.
So I'm in this like moral conundrum right now, or do I buy the book at the price that it is available today and get exactly what I want? Or do I save it for the gamble of, it's literally at a casino, this convention. Do I save it for the gamble of going to the con with an extra, because it's $800? It's a 1.5. It's a 1.5 copy, and it has a torn corner. But it's the bottom left-hand corner of the cover. It is the least inconsequential. It's the most inconsequential thing on the cover in terms of the characters and the image. It is big, bright, beautiful colors. It's a perfect copy. They just gave it such a low grade because it has this corner chunk taken out of the bottom left-hand corner. But it's perfect, and it's only it's $800.
See, I would take a gamble on that, because that's another book I don't have that I would like to get. Because every other appearance, pretty much every other one of their appearances, with the exception of Action Comics 276, because that one has the first appearance of so many characters from the Legion. They're almost nothing compared to the rest of it.
I'm pulling it up, and you know what? It would, if someone was like, "Oh, that's a great deal," and they bought it, it would take the choice away from me.
Oh,
so like I wouldn't be really upset.
But here's what it is. Okay, but see,
I'm pulling it up. We're gonna be able to see it in a second. I'm pulling it up on eBay, and then I'll do the screen share for everybody to see.
Okay.
So we can evaluate the book together. But like I'm telling you, it's a beautiful book. Oh, God, every time I look at it.
I get what Ricky's saying though, because that if he pulls the trigger now, that's gonna bring down his money for the con. So, that's a conundrum.
It is a conundrum, because I got to start putting money around for our local con.
I'm trying to find it. There it is. Here we are. Put this up here, and then let me do the present button. One day I'll get buttons for everything. That's another thing. That's another thing. I'm a shitty YouTuber, and I like to make look at this. Like, keep it real. Keep it real. I'm not looking for props, but like keep it real. Like, how many of the comic book YouTubers you see putting up the lights and getting the ambiance and shit? So that shit costs money. It all costs money.
Yeah, it does.
It costs comic book money.
Yeah.
It costs comic book money. And then like getting here, I'm trying to zoom it in so we can. Yeah, see, there's the chunk. and it did damage the spine.
Oh
It-
yes, that chunk would actually turn me off.
Me too.
See, but what I'm saying is, I don't give a fuck. And this is one of the cheaper copies you can get. But here's the deal: I'm going to show you some other copies in a second. Remember this in print. You know what? We'll even do it. We'll do it this way. I'll pull up a different eBay page so you can see them. Most of the higher grade copies, they are, man, these bitches, they got spray tanned. All these books, they're so adventure. Wow, I can't not spell with one hand. Adventure comic.
I get what you're saying though, Ricky, because sometimes you can find a book like that in a higher grade, and it's just got really faded colors, and it doesn't look good,
or it has like a major crease across the main part of the cover. Yeah,
right.
But it comes down to for this book for me would come down to the day, as in like, am I feeling lucky rich today, or am I feeling like that I may need the money for something else?
Okay.
And I mean, if this cover was complete and it looked a little worse and it had the same grade, I probably wouldn't hesitate as much. It's just because that missing chunk.
Yeah.
Like, look at these colors.
Oh yeah.
They look so terrible, and they all look like this.
And that's got the restored on top of it. Ugh.
And like this. So this is what I'm saying. You get those colors and you get that chunk there, and all of a sudden you're looking at literally double the price.
Hey, $9.99 shipping. Boy, that's not insured.
But then this guy, this has no bids, 3 days left, and it's a little cheaper.
Wait. Does that say Canada on it?
I don't know. Shipping.
It is. Now, see, I would probably look at that one.
I'm gonna. We're doing it live. But okay, so the colors of this one are good, but then again, like I said, you're now at double the price.
Mm-hmm.
And there's the one that I already showed you guys. And then here's one, the whole bottom's missing for the same price or best offer, which means I bet he'd take like 150 less for that. But still, like, I mean, that's something to consider. But the point is, here's the thing, this is a rare and expensive book. Yeah. That's the point I'm making. There is a very real chance I get to Terrificon, it's literally not even there. And then I'm sad. And then, like, I don't know, maybe that's the YouTube video though. I'm at Terrificon and I go like, wow, I bought my book, and I just show my phone and cry on camera. This is the Spanish edition, so don't get excited. 3.0. Yeah, look at that price. That's what I paid for Supergirl for a 3.0. Wow.
How long have you been looking at this book for, Ricky? Have you been keeping an eye on it?
I've been looking at this book since I got back into collecting in 2020. And now, there have never been more copies for sale than literally right now. For the first 2 years, from 2020 to 2022, I never saw more than 2 copies for sale on eBay at a time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of people feeling the pinch right now. So there's a lot of books available that weren't available 6 months ago even.
You said it right.
And the problem is too, I mean, there's a chance you show up to Terrificon and let's say there is 1, maybe 2 copies there. I mean, who's to say it's going to be priced accordingly? I mean, I've seen footage.
There's con prices and there's con prices. Yeah. Okay. I mean, Terrificon's a big con, so those prices are going to be a lot higher. I mean, the con I went to last weekend was a local, smaller one, so I was able to do some finagling. So,
yeah,
we're about to show you guys my trade secret. I like to eBay search for like CGC restored or CGC like green label. Or purple label. I'll put those key terms in. I sort it from lowest to highest. Buy it now. No, I want. Where's this thing's throwing me because it's so big. Hold on, it's too big.
That's what she said.
She didn't say that, and if she did, she's lying to all of us.
If you measure from the ass, she says it.
Oh God. Oh no. Here we go. Yeah, okay. So like here you go. A 7.0 Spider-Man verbal abuse #1. You can't make this shit up.
Now here's the thing. I actually need that because I've got the Spider-Man anti-smoking comic, the
shit?
Keebler Elf drug one.
In this special issue, Spider-Man introduces two tales which explore the tragedy of verbal abuse of children. You're so
He's not hanging out. He's not hanging out with Mr. Carlson in the back of the bike shop, I hope.
Oh god.
Oh,
Quit crying, you baby. I don't know. Like, why is he crying? Maybe he should be. Maybe he should quit crying. Maybe this
Was
dad knows what's
a,
up. Oh, never mind.
is that a different
didn't see the
Strokes
beard.
reference?
It was.
You're what's
Nice.
driving me to drink. And I love how Spider-Man's just like standing here being like, come to this carnival of horrors,
Now,
children.
Nate, that would have been cooler if you had said, "What you talking about, Matt?"
Sorry,
That's fine.
I am a fellow
that is-
child of the '80s, though. I'm putting the damn
God.
Spider-Man verbal abuse on my want list.
There you go.
An 8.0 restored. Why would anyone restore this book?
All right. You could buy it for cheaper than that.
See, but this is what I'm saying. I love looking at this stuff and like making a call because like right now, there's nothing too tempting. Right now, there's nothing too special. But wait till you get to like the $100 books, and you're like, oh, okay. Look at that. Here we go. Let's spice it up a little bit. Let's spice it up. How do I? We're gonna look at some higher prices. We'll start with something a little spicier. Like we'll do. Price. Here we go. Let's do minimum $200. We're gonna play. Is this CGC restored book $200 and up? Is this worth it? Okay, what do we got? Detective Comics 310, 9.6.
On my comic shops, there's probably like what 170 on there.
310? That can't be 310. That's got the elongated man on the cover.
Detective though, right? 1962.
Yeah, no. But I thought he didn't make an appearance until 324 in Detective.
Somebody lied to you.
Oh,
Here we
maybe.
go. What I don't know the
I
value
know
of this
his
book.
first appearance was in Flash anyway, but I'm just curious. That's all.
Marvel people, help me with this one. What is the value of this book generally?
Warlock?
I feel like 200 because I think you can get like the first appearance of him for, under $200 in like decent grade. Now,
Yes, you can. I saw it this weekend. The one where he's him.
Yeah, it's like the Thor book.
Yes. I saw it for like 150, 175 bucks.
Yeah.
It's pretty popular.
Anything I say, by the way, take away about 30 to 35%, and that's your value in your money. Okay.
Yeah.
So here you go, 1951. So Golden Age Doll Man. Why is my phone talking to me?
I thought it was your wife.
Yeah, see more Golden Age. Because this is hard because this is back in the time. I bet this was restored in the time when what's it called? Like everybody restored their Golden Age books. It was like culturally
That was the
acceptable.
early 80s, I believe. That was the big thing then, because I remember seeing ads in like the comic trades, like the what was that paper, the Comic Price Guide?
Oh, Overstreet?
Overstreet.
Not Overstreet. There was another paper, little paper that was like that came out weekly. I don't remember the name of it, but a lot of restoration places advertised in there during the 80s.
Archie? What year is that?
If it's Archie Comics 14, it's probably in the mid 40s.
Yeah.
Yeah, like look at this
40s
like
or 50s.
old shitty Golden Age.
See, this is the type of stuff Alan's always looking for, and he says that this is the way to go if you want to just own it, as opposed to having the best.
Yeah, I'm not in the cult of 9.8.
Yeah, neither am I, but I'm also not really one to buy slab books myself. I'm a raw man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the reason why I do this is because sometimes you can find some really big, old, rare keys, like this Superman 79 sub 100 Superman for $225. Nothing crazy about it, but it's Golden Age Superman.
Yeah.
Get yourself a Kang. Does anybody care about Kang anymore?
0.5.
I don't think his mom cares about Kang anymore.
I never cared about Kang.
I think Kang, they really did not handle him well in the MCU, and I think that just
Spanish.
Spanish.
potential.
That's
Well,
cool.
He wasn't the follow up to Thanos. That's
No.
Chamber of
Now the
Chills.
Chamber of Chills one, that's a good deal.
See, okay, we finally got a point on the board, boys.
Because the Chamber of Chills books are so hard to find in any grade that certainly number 5. Later issues are easier to find, but the early the first 10 are there's so few of them out there that even a restored grade would be great.
Journey into Mystery. Journey's an Unknown. Haha, number 5. Eat my ass. Eat all of my ass. Don't leave any on the plate. Don't give any to the dog. Just eat my whole ass. $245
restored book.
Well, because I think it's because it has a signature on it. It got the purple label. They didn't get it. So you could send it back in for your 9.8. But you know what? You can't buy your dignity.
Okay, now that is another
awesome
one. Worlds of Finest. The first 70 issues or so are square bound. So to get any of them that are still together, that are not like ripped apart, because if you know the glue, how bad the glue was in the 1940s and 50s, this is the same problem on the first 80-page Giants, and probably the first Marvel annuals as well, because they were still early 60s, right? They would the glues like that, they're very difficult to keep together.
Maybe that's why it's restored.
Well, no, that's just it. A lot of people would use modern glue or attempt to use something,
Shock and suspense.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
and it's like a buzzard's eating a guy. He's handcuffed to him in the desert. That's sick.
That's awesome.
Cool. 259. It also, for me, it depends on the restoration as well.
Yeah, if it's just a little color touch, it's good, but certainly if it's professional, it's better than having a amateur one.
I have this. I got it with a disconnected cover, the cover popped off. It's all there, beautiful condition. I paid $40.
Wow,
because nobody cared about the JLA for the longest time.
I know. And even then, that one only picked up more when Arrow came out, the CW show.
What?
Well, I liked it, but
oh my god, Arrow was, I don't know. I would rather watch like a nephew act out scenes from a comic book.
I would say that the first 3 seasons were really good, and then it got repetitive.
I liked the first season when he was like going and just shooting everyone with arrows and telling them they failed the city. He was killing everybody, and then they CW'd the hell out of it.
Oh, CW. I literally just can't. I feel like I'm watching like Hercules, The Legend Continues, or Xena War. Like it's the worst special effect. But that had a charm to it. There you go, 275. Look at that shit. 1947 racist AF.
Yeah,
$275. I love that.
I don't think there is a more racist Superman story than the one in the 50s where he ends up becoming the chief of a Native American tribe.
Brilliant.
Oh boy.
Love it. That's a weird cover. Detective 129.
All right, gentlemen, I got to get to bed because I got to wake up at 4.
See you later, buddy.
I'm not going to be much longer.
See you, Bruce.
Kids get up early, go to school.
Well, you know what? That might as well be a good place to here. Let me just kick this off here. Go back to
Ricky. I appreciate letting me on.
Hey.
I could spend all day, every day talking and reading comics, and it's just
Thursdays are great. My wife works late on Thursdays, and so this is like a perfect time. That's why I keep doing it on Thursdays nights. But everybody, I know it's late in the video. If you haven't subscribed to anybody that you saw here tonight, you totally should. Everybody here is
Yeah,
really nice.
my channel just started this week.
Perfect.
Cool.
What's the name of the channel? Matt likes comics.
Matt likes comics. It's nice and easy. I was so shocked to find out nobody had it.
Oh,
I like your name there, Hall. Yeah, that is pretty.
Oh, thank
that
you.
is a good name.
I thought about it for 5 or so minutes.
Okay, what does anybody say? I was so shitty about the comments tonight. I feel bad, everybody. There were people that were like, "Here's my insightful comment," and I'm just like, "Sorry,
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
looking at Superman bothering
can't-
Asians."
I guess that's my only complaint here is I can't. I guess I should have a different window open with the YouTube or something to be able to see that.
Oh well, yeah, so I can always throw them up. If you're on your screen, like if you're on the StreamYard screen on the right hand side, you can click like chat, comments, and stuff.
Oh, I see. No, that's
Yeah.
not okay.
Oh, I'm stupid. I was on private chat the whole time.
I never knew that. I never knew that either. I mean,
Wow.
Listen, I'm
good.
new at this
We're
thing.
all stupid.
I will admit I'm technologically old. As in, like, I'm 53 and I barely know how to use Instagram. So
Yeah, no. So everybody, thanks for coming. Thanks for coming by. Thanks for spending time with us. I like doing this, just talking about comics. And here's the deal, real talk. Anybody here in the chat now or in the future, if you catch one of these Thursday hangouts, just let me know like what your Instagram handle is, and if you want to be sent an invite, you can come on and you can talk comics. I don't care if you have a channel. I don't care if you just want to join the conversation. It's fun meeting people and talking about comics. That's why I started this shit. So thanks so much for stopping by. Everybody else, hang on for 1 second, because we'll still be here for a second, and then let me say goodbye to everybody. We're saying goodbye. Love you. Bye.